Are you ready for another Maha whack-a-mole? That's really all I can describe it. Okay.
If I have
Well,
to.
if it's not whack-a-mole, it's just publicity stunt. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a new major company that is now quote unquote eliminating artificial colors from their food and beverages, and it is
Oh, goody.
Nestle. Okay. And they are claiming that they will eliminate everything by the middle of 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's what's interesting. First off, Nestle already made this pledge back in 2015. Okay. And they basically promised to remove artificial flavors and colors by all of its products by the end of 2015. And in the press release back in 2015, they specifically stated that strawberry Nesquik powder will get its pink coloring from beet juice powder instead of artificial colors, and that it was going to reduce added sugar to its original chocolate powder by 15%, and cutting sugar in its strawberry powder by 27%, because some of the added sugar will be replaced with more natural flavors. Okay. And it stated that they had spent 18 months reformulating the products, with consumers paying more attention to ingredients and what they eat. A variety of food and drink makers have all altered their ingredients and make their food seem healthier or more natural.
Right. Yeah.
So Nestle USA said in February of 2015 that it would eliminate artificial flavors and colors like red 40 and yellow 5 from its products by the very end of 2015. Spoiler alert, they didn't do it. Okay. Or
Yeah.
they did it, it flopped, and they put them back in. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So the fact that they're now coming out in 2015, so 10 years later, doing the exact same pledge again is kind of comical. Now you get my reference to whack-a-mole here.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and then this was kind of funny. So this is from the 2025 press release from just a few days ago. It said that it will be removing synthetic dyes from its products over the last decade. Notice that 10 years ago it was artificial colors. Now it's synthetic dyes. Same thing. And it says that 90% of its US portfolio doesn't contain them. And it says among those that do is their Nesquik banana strawberry milk, which is made with red 3. But wait a minute. They removed it back in 2015. That means they put it back in. Okay. Now I couldn't find any controversy or, coverage of the removal and the putting it back in, because I'm sure this kind of went under the radar. Now, and of course it said in the press release, Nestle wants to evolve with US customers' changing nutritional needs and preferences. And the CEO said, serving and delighting people is at the heart of everything we do and every decision that we make. And I just pictured little birds chirping around his head while he said that. I mean, just me, but
I have opinions. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
I know.
Trying to.
So how hard is it to jump on the Maha train when 90% of your portfolio doesn't even contain artificial colors?
You're already on the train. You're just like, look, I have a ticket. Yeah. That's it.
And so that's why I keep saying that this is a publicity stunt. If you have company, this would be like, seriously, this would be like one of the organic gummy bear companies putting out a press release saying, hey, our gummy bears are still artificial color free.
Right.
Like, not news. Nobody cares.
No, not at all. No, and that's it.
I know. But I really think that they just want people to talk about their name, okay? Because if you hear that Nestle is now artificial color free, if you are concerned about that, you may go, ooh, I should go look and see what Nestle makes. And then, you know what I mean? It's all just kind of, because what is it? You've got to hear a name brand 35 times before it sticks in your brain for a couple minutes. So I think it's just another way to get people to talk about their name and maybe remind people, oh, hey, by the way, 90% of our products don't contain it.
Yeah.
But here, okay, so that one was okay. It was a little cringe, but not that bad. And you'll notice that all these companies that are doing this are the top players. Okay. These are the ones that all have like 90 different brands underneath them. Okay. Oh, maybe not last, but kind of towards the end of the party here, we now have Conagra that is stating that it will remove artificial colors from its US frozen food portfolio by the end of this year.
how much of their frozen stuff actually has anything in it.
Well, when you consider that they are the maker of Healthy Choice, not much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. They also make Slim Jims. Okay. But it says they will discontinue the use of synthetic dyes in the manufacturing of products across its whole portfolio by the end of 2027. And I feel like the fact that they had to state that they could get one section by 2026 is because they've listened to the consumers going, why does it take so long? Why is it going to take to the end of 2027? You know? So they want to be
Right.
like, hey, all of our frozen goods by the end of this year that we're currently in 6 months, no artificial dyes. Okay. Now, they also stated that it would not sell products with synthetic colors to K through 12 schools by the beginning of the 2026-2027 school year. So not like
Not
August of
this year,
this
next
year,
year.
but next year.
Right.
Now,
Okay.
here's where it gets a little funny. I mean, maybe my humor is off, but it was funny to me.
Okay.
It says Conagra did not provide specifics on how much of its frozen or snack portfolio still has artificial dyes in it as of today. The 6 month timeline to remove dyes from its frozen lineup, which includes things like Bird's Eye, Healthy Choice, and Marie Callender's, seems to indicate it probably has minimal work left to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so think about Bird's Eye veggies. They don't have colors in them. Healthy
No.
Choice doesn't have colors in them. I know, I've eaten them before.
No.
They're all brown. There's no colors in there. And then Marie Callender's, it's pot pies, it's mac and cheese,
Right.
all stuff doesn't have colors in them. Okay.
The Gardein, they're plant based. That I see could have color in it, but it's likely beetroot. If I had to guess, it's probably already beetroot. And then Duncan Hines, the cake mixes and stuff like that, and frostings and whatnot. Those aren't frozen, but like if I had to imagine there's any place that artificial colors exist, it's there.
Well, so here's the thing. So they're saying, of course, that like the rest of their company, including snacks, will be at the end of 2027. Well, those
Right.
brands are going to be things like snack pack puddings, which if you've ever
Yep.
seen them, my daughter happens to love. They have like a unicorn cup. It's got like blue and pink. Obviously, that's artificial colors. But so,
Right.
or if you ever see them, they've got like a lemon and it's like a very bright yellow. Oh, once again, it's mainly going to be like their snack foods. It's going to take a while. But I think the real kicker here is these companies can stand up all day long and say, we're going to remove them. We're going to remove the 3 products we have left that have them. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, A, they don't have to. And
No.
2, just because they remove them doesn't mean that they're not going to put them back. Okay? Hello, Trick cereal.
That. And then I kind of like, I feel like, and I know it takes time to make these kind of changes. So I'm not even like looking at that. But if you punt this to the end of 2027 with how everything has been and how tumultuous it is, and so much has been in turmoil, that there's a real possibility that consumers will forget about it because
Absolutely.
there is no legislation. There's nobody to hold you to it. And realistically, if your consumers are still purchasing your product in its current state, you don't have a ton of incentive to take it out.
No, because if your customers buy it now the way it is, you are taking a very real risk by changing it that they will no longer buy it. And
Yeah.
perfect example is, so a bunch of these companies made these same pledges back around 2015, 16, and 17. So like 10 years ago.
Yep.
And of course, none of the companies actually stuck to it. Okay. And so you have some of the extra crunchy folks that are like, well, because General Mills went back on their word, I will never buy another General Mills product ever. Okay.
Right.
Whatever. You probably weren't a big buyer of General Mills products to begin with, you know? And so this is the part that I don't think people truly understand is that it is like very much money related here, that you are asking companies to piss off their loyal clientele. And a lot of these companies are changing their sales estimates and their profit estimates, and they're actually lowering them because they're expecting that people are buying less. People are not buying brand name. And so if you were a loyalist to a brand that changes something, and especially if you have like an autistic child, or it's a safe
Yep.
food, or just the slightest thing could make it to where it's so not appealing anymore. I think
Yeah.
odds are good at that point. You are now looking at store brands. You know what I mean? Like if you were super loyal to this brand name and they change something, they've not just lost a customer, they've given a customer to another brand. You
Oh,
know what I
100%.
mean? Because
Yeah.
I highly doubt that you're going to go from consuming a product, regularly to just cold turkey, you're done. No, you're just going to find a different source.
Right, exactly. You don't stop. If you've been eating cereal every morning for 20 years and they
You don't just stop.
change the things that you like, you just don't stop eating cereal.
No.
Like, I mean, you might switch to yogurt for like a week and be like, nah, 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 cereal it is. And then you go back to cereal. But the difference is you go to something else, you try something new.
Or you start really looking, going, hey, I love this cereal and its name brand, but since I don't want to go there, let's look at the store option. You know what I mean? Like the generic version of that brand. So that way it's still the same item I love, but could be potentially cheaper. And I think right now a lot of people are going with cheaper.
Yes,
So this might be the
honest.
push people need to, if they were brand loyalists, that now they're like, let's try because perfect example, Conagra makes a good amount of the products at great value that are like shelf stable. So if
Yeah.
Conagra makes a brand that is shelf stable, odds are good the great value version is also made by Conagra. And
Yeah.
shockingly enough, a good majority of great value brands is dye free, which would also explain why Conagra is mostly dye free. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
like,
Yeah. But
I
here's the
just,
thing. There's people who have already done the legwork for you too. Like
yeah.
you hop on the old internets and be like, what store brand cereal is closest to whatever it is? And you can type it in and you'll likely find it's probably a dye-free version of what you already make, but it's cheaper and it's probably a little boring looking in comparison. But
Or it could be
realistically, like,
Aldi and
meh,
it's going to rip off the original packaging.
maybe so. You never know.
So
A
let us
party
know
for
down
everybody.
below. Do you feel that all these companies who are putting out these press releases and announcements, are they just jumping on the Maha free publicity moment? Do you actually think these companies will in fact remove dyes for good? Or are they just going to test the waters, see if sales tank, and they're going to put them right back in? Let us know your thoughts down below.